Welcome in, everybody, to a Toyota Losers Lounge. We're live here. Sad air horns. We're live here in the DNVR studios in the Toyota Lounge. And that was a bummer. Rapids fall 3-2 in Austin on decision day. Fall to 7th place in the West. Go on to face Galaxy and may have lost Djordje Mihailovic for the season. Maybe. Possibly.
Maybe.
We don't know yet.
Who knows? With the poop show that we just watched, who knows what the results
I'm
may
your host,
truly
Mitchell
be.
Carroll. Joined by downtown Duane Brown.
Sadness, pain.
Sadness and pain.
Sadness and pain.
That's our game. We're also have super producer Yaya on the ones and twos over yonder. We have a live studio audience. We just got booed in our own studio. That was Kevin. Thanks, bud.
That's where the vibes are right
Duane,
now.
where do we even start right now? We got to start with the Djordje
man.
injury, right? I mean, that to me feels like...
That's probably, aside from the loss, probably the top story.
I think it's the story, right?
There's not a lot of stories, so might as well go with that one.
Djordje in the 7th minute or earlier, it's either a really, really bad ankle sprain, could be he rolled over on top of it.
Well, I mean, the player from Austin kicked the ball into his ankle in what might be the dirtiest play in MLS history. Just terrible. A terrible look from Austin.
You had a lot of choice words about Austin's about their play and then perhaps
they take our sweet
embellishment. But yeah, Djordje goes down, man. You're already down Cole. You're down Steffen. Cabral's just coming back from injury.
Bless him.
And now you're looking at Galaxy. It's tough, man.
It's very tough.
This is a harsh thing to see. Djordje, he was not looking. There was no, you think, oh, he's just rolling around, but no. I mean, he was
carted off. He's carried off.
Carried off.
That's not a good look.
And clearly, holding his eyes, holding back tears. That's our guy, man. We don't want to see that.
I'm not happy about it.
And then, oh, by the way, while that's happening, Rubio drew a penalty. We had a lot of words for Rubio down in the DNVR bar. Yaya, how did you feel with Rubio back? No, Yaya, I lied. Psych! Duane, how did you feel about seeing Rubio tonight?
Oh, man. As a person, I love Rubio. As a Austin F.C. player, I'm tired of the floppy Rubio that I used to love. I feel like he's driven a dagger into my heart, a Rubio-shaped dagger into my heart with that floppery, as I like to call it, and drawing a penalty that he doesn't even take. Shameful. A shameful performance.
Shameful performance. All right, you know what? Let's just start off like we do. We'll get into the game thread, and we'll just talk it out. Obviously, the big news of the starting lineup with Steffen's injury, Adam Beaudry gets his first MLS start tonight.
Yeah, I called it on preseason hot takes.
He did. He said that Beaudry would start for Steffen before the end of the season.
And
look how
right.
the season ended. Look how the season ended.
Game.
Our guy over there just calling it.
In many ways, this loss is Yaya's fault. Thanks, Yaya.
And he can't even say it back.
For being accurate on your preseason hot take.
Look, Beaudry, man. So he starts. Cannon starts for Vines, and And then Omir, Johnny on the wing, Djordje and Rafael up top. Pretty much what we expected, minus Reggie and Beaudry, obviously. I liked Reggie. I thought he had a good night.
I love Reggie.
I want to see more Reggie.
I'm always down for some Reggie.
Always down for more Reggie.
I'm ready for Reggie in the full effect. That's a deep cut if you get it. Circa 2002 music scene. But that dude's got some dog, man. Like, he doesn't put up with any crap. And that's my favorite thing about him.
Yeah. When you see that in there, I get it. Vines, he's also coming back from injury. Hasn't been great defensively, so throw Reggie out there, see what you can do, especially with, an 18-year-old getting his first MLS action.
Also flip-flopped.
Yeah.
On the side.
I thought that was interesting.
I don't know if you mentioned that already.
No, I didn't.
So, okay, there you go.
But yeah, Keegan went left. Yep. Reggie went right. I thought that was interesting.
It was a smart move by Armas, I think.
Yeah.
It's a lot more speed on that side, so I think putting Reggie there was a smart move with Driussi there. So I thought that was the right call.
You also get Cabral back on the bench. No Bassett, no Steffen, no Jackson Travis, no Michael Edwards. Slim pickings.
It's a lot of no's.
Slim pickings. Colorado was on the attack from the jump. Second minute, they get the first corner of the night. Austin breaks out, and then immediately I thought, and we'll get into it, but I think the defense actually played 90 good minutes because as soon as stoppage time started, they played terribly. But
yeah,
I think for the most part they did really well, and it happened immediately. Austin had a huge counter off of that first penalty, and they just completely shut it down, which was nice. Rafa gets fouled one way, yellow. Going back is when we just talked about it, obviously. Djordje goes down. Rubio goes down in the box. Penalty. So you have your best player by far, your engine, your creativity, your dog. So much of the Rapids goes through Djordje, and he's
on the ground.
On the ground, and you're going to have your 18-year-old face a Sebastian Driussi penalty. Like, welcome to the MLS, bud.
What a bummer of a first shot on target for him to take in his first MLS strike.
Sucks.
That sucks.
That's so hard, man. I mean, come on. And I mean, that's just, you can't blame him for allowing that penalty.
It's a PK. I'm not gonna put that on Beaudry.
Driussi's pretty good.
He's good, but it's such a coin flip of a sporting thing.
Right.
Like, it's just, you either guess right or you don't. There's no adjustment once it's taken.
Yeah, and then, other than that, I mean, that was really, I thought he was mostly pretty good outside of that. So, Djordje obviously gets subbed off for Calvin Harris comes on. I mean, what were you thinking in that moment? I was like, this is over. We're screwed. The world is ending. We're going down 1-0. It's going to be 4-0.
It was a lot of sadness seeing Djordje down. I mean, as a Rapids fan, I don't know how you feel anything other than crap. Like, this is very, very bad.
Yeah.
To see Djordje down. You've already lost Steffen. And so it Cole's out. When you lose Djordje, that's your main best player that we have. So he's frequently the conduit of good things happening for the Rapids.
It's a bummer.
So to lose him was gut-wrenching.
There's no other way to look at it. I mean, this is devastating injury going forward. I mean, obviously you look at Galaxy. If you don't have Cole back, I mean, you have to get very creative with this lineup, right? Now, whatever, it's chaos, it's MLS. Like, maybe, crazier things have happened, but
sure.
It's tough. Okay, we'll get into big picture stuff after. We'll keep going through the game. Let's see. Reggie gets into it with O'Brien.
Love it.
I loved that. Getting some cannon spice, man.
Dude.
He has enough dog in him. It, brings back a little Lucas for me a little bit.
He's got way more dog than Lucas.
But
I
he
don't
has
know-
the fire like Lucas.
Yeah, I don't know that any other Rapids player has smacked a goalkeeper in the face
That's true.
to shut him up. Like, one of my favorite moments of the year.
It might be moment of the year.
Yeah.
You're right. It was great to see. Man, yeah, Rafa draws a second Austin yellow on Austin. Jimenez gets one. Rafa took a lot of big hits tonight. He was playing very physical. You can't deny he had he was on it tonight. They showed Djordje on the bench with crutches. That was a huge bummer.
I hated that.
Better though that he's not headed to the hospital for X-rays or something like that, right? They
Yeah, he
learned
was
pretty
still
quick
there.
what it was. Still there. You hope it means just a sprain or whatever. But yeah, that was really tough to see. Lawless basically horse collar tackled Diego Rubio.
Which is fine. That's not a soccer penalty. That's an NFL penalty.
It was a football penalty.
There's no such thing in soccer called a horse collar. So a questionable whistle. Don't know what the rest were doing there.
That was hilarious. Hilarious.
It was pretty great.
a little dangerous, slightly,
I'll approve it. I'll allow it.
but yeah. And then about, I want to say minute 35 or so, the Rapids found something on the attack, man. They really did. They started cooking a little bit. The wings were working. Lewis, had one of those do a little bit of everything, run around everybody, sidestep, shot. And I think that kind of sparked it, right? It was this big play from Lewis, this big solo play. Someone had to do something to get creative. And that triggered it. Keegan had a big cross in right after that. And then Rafa, who just gets it in space, turns, runs, buries a tough shot.
Yep.
Both the keeper and the defender were close, and he puts it in the far corner. Cool as you like. Number 15 on the season. 15 is good. Even if he's had a few rough stretches, 15 goals is good.
It's pretty good.
That's not. I don't think any Rapids fans can put their nose up at 15 goals. I think the season will age very well, despite some rough patches. I think getting to 15 goals like that. But right before the half, right, this felt like a 2023 game, but you get this moment at the half, feels good. You can go in level. It's still tough though at halftime there. It's still tough to get fired up when you're sitting there thinking about what that lineup's going to look like. But the let's try stuff move. Sam Vine's on for Lawless, who was on a yellow. And then you put Reggie, and so Reggie goes right, Vine's left. Or was it? Yeah. And then Keegan goes
Keegan's
on
moves to
Mollis'
center.
side on the right. They were moving all over the place. But I thought that was a good move.
Yep.
I really did.
I thought it was a necessary move.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of options left.
Right. Yeah, with no Michael Edwards, and I guess you could have put Seb in and moved Reggie, or whatever it was. Yeah, there's no back, nobody in back. Put Yappy in at center back, I guess.
There's not much else.
Not much else. Beaudry gets a huge stop on Rubio, point blank. That was nice.
It was great.
To kind of open up the second half, get the juices flowing, go win this game. Beaudry's feeling himself a little bit with that save. We're going to have a lot to talk about with Beaudry, I think.
The last great defensive move of the game.
Yeah, I'm sure there were some okay ones after that, but yeah, that was pretty nice. And then Cabral comes on for Calvin, which I thought was weird, right? Having usually when someone gets subbed on, you're there. It's kind of strange to come off as the first sub.
When you are sub.
He did that to Jasper, I think, in the RSL game away, game number 1 this season, when Ronan got hurt. But it's a strange move. I thought that was an odd one.
It was unexpected.
Yeah, but whatever. We want to see Kevin.
It was great to see Cabral.
Because immediately, he's sprinting with the ball at his feet, forces Stuver to make a diving save. Like, it felt really good.
So good to see him back. That makes me so happy for our winger situation.
It's great for the winger situation. Yep. We need it. Look, Vines gets hurt, and then you're really thinking everything is going to hell. Right? He's getting his head checked. Looks like he just took a shot to the face or something like that. He was fine, but God, you were scared. You're like, we cannot. No one else gets hurt. Everyone else in bubble wrap.
We're out of people.
We're running out of people. So up to this point, 70th minute, Rapids defense had given up less than half an expected goal outside of the penalty all night. That was when I looked at the 70th minute. Now I don't want to look at the rest, but this was my note of they actually were kind of stifling Austin and not giving them clean looks at all. Right? Like they were bending, but they were definitely not breaking. We'll get to the break later, I guess. But
after the 90th minute.
Omir on the break. He's all alone. He's not fast enough. He gets pushed. He goes down. Penalty. We went crazy down there. Crazy in the bar.
He had to get a penalty. When you give Diego that penalty earlier, you have to give him a penalty for that.
Have to. And then we're all making jokes. You should let Maxu take it. If Rafa takes it, he can tie the record.
Who would you put in there if you were coach at the moment? If you got to choose, who takes the penalty?
Maxu.
Man, it's Rafa for me.
I mean, I wanted Rafa to get it so he could tie the record.
I want Rafa to get it to dilute Diego's record.
To do it in front of Diego.
After he screwed us with that flop earlier, like that was the play for me.
Yeah.
Like to throw the middle finger back is to have Rafa take that and dilute that record to a three-person record versus a two. But they go Omir. And to his credit, he makes it. He buries it.
I loved everybody going over and doing the ice in his veins all together. That was awesome. And we're flying high. It's 2-1. You have to kill about 12 minutes of game time.
Oh, man. Rapid soccer is so good right now.
In this moment we're living in,
so good.
Kids soccer rules.
It's the best.
I
love soccer so much.
You bring on Kamani and Darren Yappy. You take off Lewis and Omir. You make it to stoppage time. You're up 2-1. You're up to 5th in the standings.
Incredible. What a great night for Rapid Soccer.
Great.
So good. So good.
And then, within seconds of stoppage time, Finley with a header just waltzes into all the space he wants in the box. Beaudry didn't stand a chance.
Maxu, the tallest traffic cone of traffic cones.
Everyone was watching. Keegan, Sam, everyone was watching that ball, and no one was watching Finley. And
awful.
Drops you to 7th. Doesn't really matter at that point, right? Because you needed the win.
Yep.
But just to add insult to injury, basically the same play happens again about 2 minutes later. Maxu he's there, he's doing a box out, and the guy he's boxing out just goes around him and heads in a goal.
Yeah, having a nice time watching the game tonight.
Pretty tough. Tough one from our guy. And it ends. And, there's some Galaxy Houston drama late. Galaxy scores and then Houston scores. So you end up facing Galaxy. LAFC took the 1 seed. So, we'll get into that on the other side. We'll get into some big picture thoughts. And we'll talk players of the game, get into some stats. But first, let's talk about our friends at Toyota. I drove my Toyota down here today. Took a nice, beautiful drive down 6th Ave. It was a sunset. It was beautiful. I was cruising. AC was hitting perfect. Sound system. Blasting some... I was listening to some Bay Area rap. Some Andre Nicotina, if you're familiar, Duane.
Man, I love rap so much.
Mac
you can
Dre.
tell. I'm such a rap guy.
Yaya knows what's up with the Mac Dre, I think. I hope so. But it was perfect. I felt very Colorado. I was in my Toyota, just enjoying a beautiful fall evening, cruising around. Look, Toyota has all your options. They have 17 models with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. That's what you need in Colorado, like the new 4Runner. Their trucks, like the Tacoma. They're bringing back the Land Cruiser. You have 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from, including the Tundra iForce Max hybrid truck. And you have SUVs that are perfect for the city and the mountains, like RAV4 and Grand Highlander. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the Colorado Rapids and the official vehicle of DNVR. We are also brought to you by our friends at Empire Today. 588-2300 Empire
Today.
With those cute little guys rolling out floors.
Yeah.
I love them. Those little, good job, little flooring guys.
Out.
We have an Empire bobblehead?
We do.
That's awesome.
Should have put them on the table. Next time, tune in for the midweek show. The star of the show, Empire bobblehead.
Empire is the best place to get new flooring. They offer just at-home convenience, the right product that you need, quick and professional installation, and a price match guarantee. They advertise the best products. They're curating this list for you. You know how many floor options there are?
I do, because I put this floor in here.
But I'm just saying in general, there's thousands upon thousands of options.
How many trees are there on the earth, Mitch? That's probably how many wood choices there are from Empire Today. I cannot confirm the number, but I'm pretty sure it's as many trees as there are.
My point is they narrowed down the options to the best ones.
Yes. They only bring a sample. That's right.
Right?
They bring a sample.
They find the best.
And they show it to you, and you're like, all of these are perfect for this space.
You don't have to waste your time going through all the crap to find a few good, it's all good options at the start. And with your virtual floor designer, you can just scroll through floors in your space when you take a picture. Boom. Done. Look, they are the best. Don't go to some big store that just sends someone over from Power Tools to sell you some flooring.
Lame.
Or choice. One guy's on his break, so you got to wait 20 minutes to buy some flooring. No. Let the floor guys do it. It's Empire. You can schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code DNVR. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/DNVR for details. All right, we are back. DNVR Rapids on a Saturday night, hanging out at the DNVR bar. And it's a loser's lounge. We're in the Toyota lounge, the loser's lounge. It sucks, Duane. I hate it.
It's the worst.
I hate it.
It's the worst feeling.
It's just, man, you lose 4 straight.
We were third place just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, with a shot at second place with a win.
Now we're 7th place.
Now you're 7th. You're going to Galaxy.
Just above the play-in.
Hey, but not the play-in.
I know, just barely above it.
Look, and I had this thought. We're going to look, whenever we're able to do the season retrospective, right? Not this one loser's lounge, not when they get knocked out of the playoffs, but when we're able to really look back at this season, it's going to age very well. We're going to have a good time talking about this year. We're going to talk about having fun watching Rapids again. We're going to have fun talking about goals, about having good players. But man, when you just limp into the playoffs like this, it's just so hard to remember that. And it's so hard to appreciate the good season when it's the absolute just off the cliff at the end.
Well, I mean, you have to prepare for the now.
I know.
It's not retrospective time. I
know.
We need to put ourselves in the best position for the playoffs, and we didn't do that. So now we're going up against a very tough Galaxy team. We're not playing. So, that's cool. I don't think anybody on the planet picked the Rapids You know, the Rapids to have a playoff spot. This is not a postseason spot. That's a play-in spot. This is a legit playoff spot, you know, which is cool. But we didn't help ourselves out at all with these last few games.
Not at all. Not at all. And to Crash's point, it's like, how did you not find just a couple points here and there, right? Like, you stumble out of the gate to start the season, and you stumble late, and you were on almost close to 2 points a game. If you take out the 5 to start and the 6 to finish, you were flying, right? Like you were flying, and yeah, it's tough, man. It's like you couldn't find the Kansas City game, the Minnesota game. Those are really hurting right now.
You realize how integral a piece Cole Bassett is.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
because when the shift goes from the midfield to really control the game to the midfield being a bit of a liability, and now the pressure goes on the back line, that's a problem for the Colorado Rapids. And we saw that tonight. We've seen that for a few games now.
Yeah, and now you need Ronan pushing up for some creativity and some distribution, right? So now it's really just Ollie and the defender's back, and it's a line that definitely has never played together, right? In a competitive situation, and you have guys playing out of position.
Yep.
And you have an 18-year-old in goal. It's just one of the all-time stumbles, right? Like, yeah. Tough. You want to get into some players of the game? Who do you think was the Rapids player of the game, courtesy of our friends at FOTMob?
I'm going to say it's Yaya's guy, Omir.
That is correct. And Yaya's note to us when we came up was, I thought Omir was pretty good in the midfield. And he was. Put up an 8.2 tonight. Obviously converted the penalty, which was his second goal of the season. He was 13 of 17 passing. 27 touches tonight, 4 in the box, 2 passes into the final third, 5 recoveries on defense. Just overall, I think more than positive, he just wasn't negative, right? There wasn't a lot of turnovers. There wasn't a lot of where did that pass go? It was sound, and then when he needed to, he earned the penalty and converted the penalty.
He slotted in well in midfield.
You were skeptical.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's had a great season at winger.
No.
I don't think that's a hard point for me to argue, and that's not a negative, kind of taking a shot at all at Omir. It's just I could say that about a lot of wingers on the Colorado Rapids this year. But Omir is included in that group. The wings have not been our strong point this year. Now we saw him at more of a true midfield spot, and he stepped in and did the job. Yeah.
No, I thought it was who can do the best Djordje impression, right? He gave him a chance. I think getting Cabral back as a starter on the wing will really help this situation, right? Like,
for sure.
Okay, Omir can slide in, or maybe you start Jasper and slide Ronan up, or it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
It's not a bad thing to have Omir playing back, because when Hoffa gets pulled out of position, as he does, because he likes to play all of the positions from defense up, like we saw tonight, like Omir can slot in and make a run for the goal, and it resulted in a penalty shot that it resulted in a goal. So, that's the bonus when you do have someone who plays more of a winger that slots back into the midfield, and more from a more traditional standpoint, you kind of have a midfielder that is like a +1 to offense, which is really nice.
Yeah. And he has some dog, he might not have the wheels that you have on the outside, but if he can mix it up and keep that press going, especially that second wave of the press, I don't see why not. It worked for the most part. I thought the offense, considering you had no Djordje and you had no Cole and Cabral wasn't out there, and all in all, I think the offense looked pretty okay tonight. I think there was enough chances created to win this game.
Sure.
It's going to be interesting to see how he plays. Okay,
we did win the game in regulation.
Good point.
So,
Great point.
To what you were just saying is you're correct.
Yeah.
For 90 minutes, offense did do enough. You
Yeah.
know?
Okay, who do you think was the second best Rapid tonight?
Oh, man. Probably Hoffa. I thought he played pretty well. I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah, he finished with an 8. 90 minutes played, 1 goal, 4 shots, 3 chances created, 0.4 XG. Would like to see that be higher, probably. 2 block shots, 34 touches, 5 in the box. Overall, just a solid Rafa performance, right? Had a clearance defensively. I thought held himself, kept the press going. Obviously created the goal kind of by himself, right? So if you can take anything out of that, having Hoffa, that's really cool that we can do that. Yeah. That's a nice touch, throwing up the stats like that.
If I could see it better, I could cheat and tell you who was the next best player. So it's too small for us to see.
I thought this was at least, if you're pulling positives from this game, Omir looks like he can do a decent Djordje impression. Hoffa kind of looked like Hoffa again, right? Or at least there was a little juice to it, right? And then Lewis and Lawless had a 7-3 each. They were the next highest ones. Everyone else was in the orange. I thought Lewis was pretty good. But outside of that, man, you see a lot of bad grades. Maxu 6, Ronan 6, Ollie 6'4", Keegan 6'5", Cannon 6'2". Beaudry is not his fault, but all the subs are low 6s. It was
too much orange on that back line.
It's just too flat of a game, man. It was tough. Beaudry though, let's talk Beaudry. I mean, how obviously he had the big save against Rubio. Overall, I thought his distribution and his availability for passbacks and everything was fine. Got hung out to dry twice.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he could have got a piece of that second one, but yeah, I mean, you got an 18-year-old making his first start as a backline. I would think you got to protect your guy, and the stoppage time standing around and watching was, I mean, those guys should be furious with themselves.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, if they go back, and I hope they have to watch it, that should be the punishment, is to go back and watch yourself not do anything to help Beaudry, because it was pretty bad. So, I mean, you feel bad for Beaudry, I was hoping he was going to come out and just light it up. That's the game you want for any of your homegrowns making their first start. But, he had a nice stop, but he really didn't get any help. We got good comments.
I can't read. Okay, when you look at how the seeding finished, you get Galaxy. Now, I thought that Galaxy game was a pretty good game. Thought they held their own for the most part.
That's not good enough for playoffs, though.
Well, sure.
You can't hold your own for playoffs.
LAFC, they got the doors blown off.
Yeah.
Now, they did beat them in what? March? April? Whenever?
Yeah.
Long time ago. But the recent
it's cold, and
yeah.
They're kind of spoiled and little baby people.
Sure.
So.
Well, I hope it snows for the home game. That would be awesome.
Hey, it's been snowing in Telluride and up in the mountains. It's been getting a lot of snow this week.
That'd be fun. Snow Classico.
Down. I'm for it.
If you survive this round, there's a chance you see FSL in the second round too.
I'm for it. I wish that was the first round.
Me too.
That's what I wanted.
That would have been spicy. Have they played in the playoffs? Do you guys know that off the top of your heads?
I don't know.
Or maybe the chat? Have we played RSL in the playoffs? Probably like a long time ago. Yeah, definitely not recently. Yeah, that makes sense. Man. I don't know. I'm not like, obviously you have to temper expectations. We have no idea what's up with the Djordje injury. No idea.
There's 3 big injuries, man. You've got a Djordje injury, you've got a Zach Steffen injury, and you've got a Cole Bassett injury. Those are major kicks in the junk for the Colorado Rapids. Like,
Yeah.
that's your core right
Yeah.
there. I mean, we're in a tough spot if those guys aren't there.
I have a hopeful theory. Who are the 2 best friends on this team? Who are the peas in a pod on this team?
I mean, I would say Vines and Bassett.
Even
are the
more
2.
than them.
I don't know that they're any more pea-pottish than those 2.
It's Omir and Rafa. Those guys do everything together. They're always joking around at practice, always walking out together, messing around, goofing around. And now that chemistry, they're going to play together a lot.
If Omir is in that spot,
Yeah, what do you think?
If he's back on the wing, then that's I don't care how good of friends they are. We've already seen
Sure.
that.
Right,
and it's
right,
not
right.
great.
Power friendship's not going to make it through Galaxy.
No, like P-pods don't solve bad winger.
Yeah, that's a good point,
You know, striker combos.
That's a good point. So what would you do? I mean, guys, I want to hear what you guys think in the chat. What do you? How do you replace Djordje? It'd be awesome if it was just Cole.
Yeah,
that would be great.
I mean, we don't know what that situation is. Like, club's been very silent on injuries. Just there are injuries. That's what we know. But we don't know the severity of any of that. I mean, it started with, we're just giving him a rest just to make sure. I haven't seen that guy in a month. You know? So, it's hard to say. I would love for Cole to be back, but without knowing what the situation is and without knowing what the Zach situation is, it's worrisome. And that doesn't even include Djordje. You hope that he just rolled it, I mean, that replay was gruesome.
Oh, the replay was gross.
I've fallen off curbs just being clumsy, and probably if I had a slow-mo replay of that, probably looked as gruesome.
Yeah.
So there's hope.
There's hope.
But it did, I hope it's not a sprain.
There's always hope.
Maybe it's just, he rolled it, but I like that he was still there and not rushed off to the hospital, being on crutches, but not, in an air cast or anything like that, I think is also
here's a note from our friends at Burgundy Wave.
All right.
Shout out. Chris Armas says they think it's an ankle sprain for Djordje Mihailovic. Not as bad as after the game as initially thought. Imaging is scheduled for tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know what other info you could hope for. I mean,
if it's a sprain,
that's not great.
Give him the shot and get out there.
Yeah, but I mean, have you ever sprained your ankle?
Oh yeah.
It's a lifetime injury if you get a bad sprain. So, I mean, I don't want to ruin next year.
It's
rolling him out and spraining it worse.
He'll recover from an ankle sprain
in a week.
No, I just mean I'm not worried about next year.
Right, but I mean, sprains. That's lifelong.
It can turn into a.
Yeah.
I mean, it could definitely, turn into a thing. But
if it's a sprain,
it hasn't been a thing though. So that's something.
I'm with Crash on that. If it's a sprain, I don't want to risk it. Put him on the bench for the playoffs, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He's just too valuable for a playoff game when all of your other good players are already injured as well.
Right.
Against LA.
It's tough. It's tough.
I mean, normally I'm a put everybody in and do your best to destroy the other team, but we've got 4 losses in a row. We've got a lot of injuries stacking up, and I'm not sure that I want to risk next season based on that.
Yeah.
I think Djordje would say, F you, Duane. I'm playing anyway, because that's who Djordje is. But I don't know. I protect that asset for next year.
You're right. Okay. Let's on the other side we'll do Flowers, and then we'll just take a quick look at what the playoffs are going to look like.
Yeah.
Quick gut reactions.
I've not been looking, so
gut reactions to some of these matchups. We'll be really digging into them for the first time on the other side. But first, let's talk about DNVR events, baby. Man, we love DNVR events. Have so much fun. This weekend was tough for me. Buffs are on the road. Broncos are on the road. We didn't have tailgates to do this weekend. That's a bummer.
It happens.
But you know, it's next weekend.
Tailgates. A lot of tailgates.
Double tailgates, baby. So if you're hitting the Buffs game, we have takeover tickets for that as well on Saturday. Tickets, you get parking and entrance to the tailgate and a game ticket for like $30 cheaper than the cheapest game ticket on Game Time right now. You cannot beat it. So if you're interested in a Buffs game, that's the way to do it. All that is at thednvr.com/events. The Broncos tailgate will be rocking after a huge win, and you get Carolina coming in. We should smack them around. We might even have a surprise DNVR like mini show there. We're going to.
Confirmed.
Yeah. So that's Todd Davis, No Sean Moreno, Jarrell Casey going live and doing a show from the tailgate. So that's going to be rad. So let's if you haven't been, it's the most fun we have.
Is Noshawn still using a mouse with his phone?
It's
amazing.
that's
worth going.
Honestly,
just to see a person use a mouse connected to their phone.
Yeah,
that's worth it to me.
The DNVR Broncos tailgate has been so fun for so long, and all we have had is bad football to get hyped for and to celebrate, and yet somehow we still have the best time and a great tailgate. And now that we're good and winning and being
good.
fun, you can have fun at the DNVR Broncos tailgate. Check that out, thednvr.com/events. We also have takeovers coming up. Avalanche. Oh, man. November 15th versus the Capitals. Confirmed guest on this takeover. It is. Yes, I've been given the go-ahead to advertise this. This might be breaking news. No one watches.
It's a big name.
No one watches. Milan Hajduk is coming.
What?
You can hang out with Milan Hajduk.
That's pretty cool.
His number's retired. Come on. That's amazing. Legend. So get your tickets. It's going to be a blast.
No cap, as the kids say.
Yeah, we're not.
That's what the kids say. The kids are coming to this game.
I guess you have kids. You should know more than I know.
Well,
Does Penny tell you no cap at home?
No, but I am referred to as bro.
That's funny.
I'm like, really?
Anyways, check out all that. Nuggets takeovers. We're going to have a ton of fun. So the first Nuggets takeover, we have warm-ups. You get to go down courtside and watch warm-ups and hang out. Tons of that going on. thednvr.com/events. Okay, we're back. Live, DNVR Rapids Losers Lounge. What's up, bro? As Penny would say.
Bro.
All right, it's time. Flowers from the fellas. Hell yeah. It's my turn. And I will do this for my boy Yaya. It is for Omir. Omir gets flowers.
He had a nice game.
Rough season, but man, when you step up like that and have the best game of anyone on the team.
Out of position, too.
Out of position. That's the definition of dog. That's the definition of heart. You love to see it. And we're gonna.
Some might say that he's actually playing in position.
Well, he is playing in position.
Some would say that
they
found the position for him.
And I just want to say that I called putting him in the midfield about 3 weeks ago, and that's where he should be the core replacement.
Yeah, you're really good at this, brother. I don't care what they say about you on the internet. No one says bad things about you. Yeah, but yeah, Omir. Easy. Flowers.
That's a very easy one.
Super easy. All right, you're up.
There's another easy one, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to give my flowers to Connor Ronan.
Really?
Numerically didn't have the best game. But what Connor Ronan did is something, what he did tonight is something that I'm not sure I've ever seen a Rapids player pull off. It was an incredible feat of soccer skill. He managed to half deflect and half kick the ball into the opposing coach's face. Mwah! It's magnifique. Beautiful work from Connor Ronan. We are blessed to have him. I want to see more of that from Connor.
I liked it.
I love it.
Between that and Reggie getting into it,
Yeah.
and Yappy kind of getting into it late too. We didn't talk about.
Yes.
We got some dog going into the playoffs.
That's what I want to see.
You got to. I mean, you're gonna have to show it. You're gonna have to. I think you might have to ruffle some feathers up.
You do not have a choice against
You kind of
Galaxy.
have to be those guys.
It's time for the Colorado Rapids to put on their villain era.
Love it.
That's what has to happen for the playoffs.
Ooh.
It's time to make your heel turn.
Okay, my flowers. Hoffa, easy. Why'd you give me the two easy ones? Well, I went first, so you couldn't. but
Well, I mean,
I thought he was great.
I just wanted you to have it, Mitch.
Thanks.
I wanted you to have those.
Thanks. That's true.
I do
Big
not
hater.
hate Hoffa.
Big hater.
There is a terrible picture of me on the internet now, thanks to Kevin, cheering on that Rafa goal.
Hey, that goal was sick. Tougher goal than it looked like. You know, when you really look at the shot he got off there. I hope he's back in the zone. I wish he got to kick the penalty and tie the record. That would have been really cool.
That would have been cool.
You think about those missed penalties from earlier in the year,
well, I mean,
you know, and how many how many saves or crossbars or whatever to not get the record to tie or get it is kind of rough.
there's been quite a drought since League
But
Cup.
it's been a drought. You're
Yeah.
right.
So it was nice to see him kind of get past that in time for the playoffs. Crucial time.
Totally.
Hoffa's back.
Okay. Who you got?
Oh, man. Do it. What do you got?
I'm
Let's
gonna
get
just
Yaya
give
in
you the
here.
name and I'm gonna let you cut because you deserve this. Kevin Cabral for making his return.
Man, was there
That's your
not-
guy.
Was there... Hey, man. If Yaya wants to jump in, that dude gets to jump in. Man, how great was it to see Kevin Cabral run onto the pitch?
He brings me so much joy.
I want Kevin Cabral to know that I sang the French national anthem for him.
Is that what that was?
Down in the bar for him as he took that shot.
How many national anthems do you know?
Oh, man.
I can
I
sing.
don't know. Probably like 4.
I can sing Canada's.
Yeah. USA, Canada, England,
England.
France, obviously.
Because you said
You heard that one.
I did. I heard that one.
I changed one of the words to Kevin Cabral because he deserved it. Because he's a national hero. So,
Just so
I
you
thought
guys
he
know,
deserved
Duane
it.
just kept repeating Kevin Cabral, Kevin Cabral, Increíble. And then he said that's the
I
national
love
anthem.
him so much. I'm so glad that he came back tonight. It was awesome. God, I wish he would have scored that goal.
That would have been
But
sick.
how great was it for you to kind of not be paying attention to the game because it was kind of a weird spot where you weren't looking, and then all of a sudden the ball was at Cabral's feet and he was just, screaming towards the goal all by himself. That's what I need. Put that in my veins. I need it. And that Kevin Cabral against Galaxy,
Honestly,
deadly. That dude is
Yo.
deadly versus what those fans for what they did to him.
I hope he gets the start.
He's got to get the start.
He has to. Him and Lewis.
I'm so out on that game if he doesn't.
Actually,
get the start.
kind of like. Okay, say Cole is healthy at the 10. Cabral left, Hoffa up top, Johnny right.
Yeah. Totally down for that.
Like, let's go. Let's go.
Try stuff. Yaya doesn't like it. He wants Omir.
I know you want Omir.
And he doesn't.
but
And he's a known Lewis
No,
hater,
it's
so-
actually they should go with the 4-4-2. That's
you're
when
right.
they had the most
Yeah,
success.
like they did in New York.
And this is also
Well, they did
this
it tonight, too.
And the defense was a lot better with the 4-4-2 because then you can drop Ronan. You
It was
got
a
3
lot
in the
better.
mid, and then it gives you extra numbers on defense, which is what you want. And it also gives you that counter if you put up Yappy out there. That double height with Yappy and Rafa is going to help you out more against the tinier tinier Galaxy team in the back end. That's how you attack them.
Fine,
Especially when
you're
you
right
you can
again,
go
Yaya.
all the way up high with guys like Reggie, Sam, and Keegan, and then you have your wingers that can just outrun everybody. It's a better look for the Rapids.
Dude, Cabral, man, I got to see what he did this season. He was having such a nice
Napoleon
year.
Cabral apart.
Kevin Cabral coming into tonight, 5 goals, 2 assists. He only played 22 matches, so he missed 12. You know, you're probably looking at 8 and 4, 8 and 5, somewhere in there. If he plays, it's a bummer, man. It's a bummer. You really missed him.
Totally.
One of the more underrated things of the Djordje injury too is set pieces and how crucial they've been to the Rapids' success this year. Without him, you'll need Ronan to step up there. Having him there, you need a little bit of taller guys, and that's where the double Yappy and Cabral thing would help out a lot more.
Right.
And then you can put Maxu and Lawless in that, and you have way bigger targets in the box, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to. Ronan is gonna have to dial in those corners, those crosses. You're gonna have to really fight for every long throw opportunity you can get, every corner you can get, every set piece. Lawless at the back post works against a lot of teams. It could work, but you're gonna have to really manufacture this win, right? If you want to win, it's gonna be
There can't be any mistakes on the back.
God. And then you just the Beaudry part is such a scary. It's like cool.
It's
You
not
fixed
Beaudry,
out
though,
there.
to me. For me personally, it's not Beaudry as much as it is. I thought in the last 6 minutes of stoppage time, that might be some of the worst play I've ever seen from the back line. I mean,
As soon as it went to extra time,
Maxu was truly bad, and I hate it because we all love the guy, but he was a traffic cone. He just stood there and watched, and I mean, broke my heart
that was tough.
in stoppage time. It's the back line can't take time off. The game was won in regulation, but you have to finish out the game. And that's what this squad has been so good at, is having that dog, not giving up, shutting everybody up about the Rapids.
Right.
And tonight in stoppage time, we were the Rapids, which really sucks. I don't want to finish the season having last season's the Rapids. And that's what we saw in stoppage time was everybody just quit on the back line. And I know that anybody from the team that's going to be listening to me say all that is going to be pissed off. But go back and watch it. I don't know what to tell you other than go back and watch. And if you see something else, then please send me highlights and diagram them out, because what I saw looked pretty obvious.
It's scary. You're right. It's really scary. But look, they've had one nice tournament run this year. There's dog in this team. I'm not totally submitting in this playoffs yet.
What about a 5-4-1?
See, that was my thought, was you slide Keegan in, right? Have Maxu in the middle, Lawless on the left, or Keegan on the left, whatever. And then Vines and Cannon at outside. Leave Ollie back. And then I guess slide Ronan up to the Djordje spot.
It would be more, to me, it would be more Omir and Ronan.
Yeah.
And Ollie's going to be your muscle if you see you're getting outworked in that midfield as a sub. And you have a better sub that comes in. Defensively, you're a little bit more stout. And then you also can just have Ronan be a playmaker from the back like he
Right.
usually works.
Yeah, and he has that dog lately on defense. That could work.
I'm fine. I mean, hey.
So basically, you have like a back
stuff.
three, and then you have another three of Vines on the left with Ronan in the middle and Reggie to the right. I kind of like it. I dig it. They're going to have to experiment.
I mean, it's not working for 4 games, so try something new.
You're going to have to experiment. It's going to be curious to see. Okay, let's look at the we got to look at the playoff matchups for the West. Here we go. We know we're playing Galaxy. RSL, the 3 seed,
Gross.
hosting Minnesota. There's going to be a lot of goals in that. That's going to be a lot of goals. Those 2 teams are flying. Interesting one.
Yeah, we'll get into predictions.
I guess
this
up
week,
the,
so I
up
don't
the
wanna jump
loons,
into it
right?
Too much.
Houston and Seattle, that's another exciting one. Those 2 teams are both flying too. Honestly, the West looks fun. And then the wild card is Portland hosting Vancouver, even though Vancouver's the 8th seed, but they have a dirt bike thing at their stadium this week. And so they
What a
can't host
disaster.
the play-in.
What a disaster. You lose your home field advantage because you didn't believe in your team enough.
That is so
that you
funny.
scheduled a dirt bike race.
It's so funny.
That's embarrassing.
Columbus, the 2 seed, hosting Red Bull. That'll be a fun one. Should be a lot of goals. Cincy, NYC, same thing. Lots of goals. Orlando, the 4 seed, hosting Charlotte, the 5 seed. Charlotte, kind of a surprising surge there to kind of be in a mix there. But Orlando, they're a buzzsaw right now. That's going to be... I'd be scared if I was facing Orlando at all.
I put money on them before the season.
Smart. Yeah. And then, you know, obviously Miami sets the points record as the 1 seed, waiting on Montreal and Atlanta. The Josef Martinez Derby. That'll be fun. Derby. All right. Well, regular season's done and dusted. We'll do a little review, and a playoff look ahead and a playoff preview and all that stuff midweek. Anything else we should plug here at the end, Duane?
It's a great time to become a diehard.
Yes, it is.
With all of the sports happening right now, now's your time. Become a diehard. There's going to be some cool information about becoming a diehard this week.
Yeah.
So
Keep an eye
pay
out.
attention to that. It's a perfect time as a Rapids fan because one of the things about being a diehard is getting a free T-shirt with your membership. Perhaps you choose this one. We've got a couple of other ones as well.
Up
So
the Pids.
it's a great time to become a diehard. Sports are happening. Nuggets are starting soon. Avs are underway. Broncos are actually winning. Rapids are headed to the playoffs. Good time for sports. Buffs.
We're going to have some extra DNVR Rapids content this week, too.
That's right.
And that's it. That's all I'll give
That's
you.
all you get to know.
Some new content.
And you got to be a diehard. Is it behind?
It won't be.
Oh,
Yeah. This
well,
will be
you
for
should
everybody.
be anyway.
It's going to be a blast. Check it out. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on the socials. Follow us, DNVR_Rapids on the old Twitter machines. Where else can you follow? Follow Duane at Duane Brown. Follow me at Mitch__Carroll. Follow Yaya at Yahir
_Vasquez.
Thank you. I should have that memorized by now. Like and subscribe on YouTube if you haven't. We are so close to 100K. You guys, we're at 94,500. We are so close to a plaque. Even if they don't actually give plaques, we're still going to plaque it anyways. Because that's sick. We're right there.
It's the race to 100, folks.
So if you haven't done it, like and subscribe, please. It goes a very long way for us. We would really appreciate it. More important than all of that, playoffs. Let's go. Bring it on. Up the Pids.
We all silly like the mayor.